And that's how we work with cancer patients.
I was going to ask you about cancer.
Yes. So with pranic healing, we do clean the energy with an intention of removing old programs of cancer.
So anybody can heal. You don't have to be born with the gift of healing.
Everybody has a gift, Miriam.
So you can train me to be a healer
Absolutely.
or to heal myself.
Absolutely. And I just want to tell you that ending your life does not end your problems.
True.
Because you don't realize as the soul does not die.
Yeah.
It's your physical body that died. The soul lives through hell. And I will ask the audience, do not stand in hospital walls feeling helpless.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear viewers and listeners. Welcome back to yet another episode of Beauty Life Podcast with me, Miriam Rose. Today, I'm joined by Shahwana. I would love for her to introduce herself and tell us what pranic healing is. But before then, a statistic. Today, over 1.5 billion people are living with chronic pain, and hundreds of millions more grapple with anxiety and depression. And especially in this continent of Africa, we only know one way of healing, the conventional way, the medicine way, which is not a bad thing, but we can see that it's causing strain in hospitals, and the system is unable to handle this. So I have been feeling increasingly that we need to learn complementary healing modalities, and pranic healing is one of them. So this is why I invited you to help us understand that, and maybe to help the continent of Africa and her citizens.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Miriam, for first of all inviting me. My name is Shahwana Khanam. I've been in pranic healing for over almost 25 years now. That's a long time now.
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me. But just working on your conventional medicine now, pranic healing is just starting the statement is not a replacement for modern medicine. It is not a replacement for orthodox medicine. It is a complementary, but it does work. And just to inform you, one thing people, like you said, we are too aware of the physical who we are because we see the physical body and that's how we relate to it. But the physical body has more to it, not just the physical part, but it also has an energy invisible body. Just like you have a physical body, we also have an exactly invisible body. If you Google today, so many people have science has proved that there is an energy being, an energy aura around a human being, which looks exactly like you. And that is the aura which gets affected, and that is the vibrations we pick. So it's a simple conscious, like if you walk into a room and you have a people sitting around and nobody really told you that they were going through an argument, somehow walking into their room you will know. How do you pick that vibration? How do you know something is not okay? It's the aura which comes in contact. So a human aura, in the pranic healing school, we teach you layers of auras, not just one. What makes pranic healing different? Because it's a science, it has been studied. We have manuals which have been offered. We give certification programs. And we have levels of courses which are offered. And also for the healing, when a patient comes to us, they have to have an open mind. We are not going to ask them to stop taking their medication because they need it. What happens is we do advise them to go back to the doctor to see if their dosages can be reduced. That normally we do advise them because many times we've had patients who come to us who have very high hypertension, for example. And with the healing, because I'm going to now introduce you to the energy concept. So this is an aura. If this is me, I have an aura. So do you. That aura is the one which gets disturbed with the energy. Now, during COVID time, if you remember, during COVID time, a lot of people got sick and we were not able to reach them physically. And some of them were not able to go to the hospitals either. There is quarantine. And even going to the hospitals, you remember the beds were all full. Yes, the doctors had to wear a lot of protective gear to protect themselves to reach near the patient. So our pranic healing school had a huge benefit because we offer distant pranic healing.
So it's energy healing that you don't need to touch the body of the.
We don't need to touch the body, but we connect to the person, and the person has to be receptive to receiving the energy, just like prayers. So if somebody is praying and you're receptive, and like the priest is praying on you, from any religion, if any priest is praying from you, the pastors are praying for you. If you're not receptive, how do you receive the blessings? So even in pranic healing, we ask the patient to be receptive. The healer connects to the patient either by understanding the photo of the person or even on Zoom calls, for example. And then we in the pranic healing school, we have a concept. This is what makes pranic healing different than all the other modalities, because it has been studied, it has been researched, and we have a tool which we call scanning. So just like the hands, I mean, you can do this with me now, Mariam, just to feel the energy.
Yes.
So what is the energy? What is the energy which pranic healing uses? It's called the air prana, the earth prana, and the sun prana. These are the three ingredients which are used, which is all around us anyway. Even if a plant, if you see a plant like now in Nairobi, we are going through a little dull period with the rains and the gloomy weather. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? A little bit not in the greatest moods, because the sun prana is missing. You see, there is some component in the air, the earth, the sun, which is missing, which makes you feel like this. That's why people in a gray area, when there is rains and all that, or winter, become a little gloomy, because they have the enough pranic energy, or let me say the aura feeds on this. That food has been deprived. It's almost like the body is not receiving what it's supposed to receive. But the minute the sun comes out and you go out for a walk, you feel revitalized.
That's
Why? Because there is a lot of the air, earth, sun. Now, in pranic healing, they call it prana. The word P-R-A-N comes from the Sanskrit tradition. But the same word is used in the Chinese, which they call it chi. So that's how they do the acupuncture. So if you go to a Chinese and say, I'm paining, I have a pain, they will tell you this part of the body, the prana is missing. They will not call it prana, they say chi.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So then they'll take the acupuncture points which are connected to each of the organs, and then they will puncture that part just to make sure that enough pranic energy can flow, or chi energy can flow in that part. Now, if you go to the Reiki practitioners, they call it ki. It's a Japanese word of the same thing, ki. If you go to the Hebrew, they call it ruha. So if you go to the Bible refers it as the breath of life. You get me? Without,
Yes.
it's not oxygen, it's breath of life. It's like, for example, God made Adam and blew a breath of life. You see, in the one of the chapters in Genesis talks about that. And you wonder, yes, what was the breath of life? God was giving what to Adam to make it alive? It's the breath of life. So that is the one which keeps the aura alive. But because I can't see it, sometimes we think this is modern age technology, doesn't
Yeah. New
exist.
age
New age,
stuff.
and people
Yeah.
ignore that. You get me? I
Yes.
can't see God either, but doesn't mean my faith is not there in God. God does exist, and everything comes from God. God is a creator of everything. So without God in our life, healings don't work either, because you must pray to God and say, I want to get healed. We do ask the patients to have faith in God. It's not a religion, it's not a cult. It's a way of life, it's science. But without God's energy, where will we be? Nowhere. So we do ask the patients to be receptive. So what does the healer do? The healer has a ability to feel the aura. The aura has to be in a balanced stage. For example, a normal person's aura is usually considered at least 5 inches away from the body, interpenetrating inside the body and outside the body, at least 5 inches when the healer scans, and they say, yeah, this feels okay. But if there is a disease, the aura can either deplete, or the aura can either congest. Congestion means there's just too much contamination. It's picked up on that part of the body. If somebody has a shoulder pain, for example, yeah, and they have a frozen shoulder, they can't move, there is an energy stuck in the aura, which is the pranic energy, which is supposed to go there, fresh energy, as I would call it, go into the organs, feed the organs with revitalizing regeneration energy, is now being blocked. So the healer just comes and cleans, just washes the energy out. And the minute that happens, the part brightens up. The minute the part brightens up, it's like it's removed the disease. And then the healer, it's all about breathing. It's all about the breath. Then the healer has been trained to project some breathing energy there, using the earth chi energy, or ki energy, or prana, as you may call it, projects that energy there, and there's a way to stabilize it. This is all part of a class which they are taught. So the minute they do that, you notice a tremendous, like, the patient is able to move. We've healed So many people with
Is that what
frozen.
Jesus was using?
Jesus was healing with the prayer, yes, but Jesus was Jesus. Jesus, you must understand, was a great, great, great healer,
Yeah.
and he was able to do this immediately. You see, like if you remember the story from the Bible, there is a lady who was following Jesus, and she could not get him to him. There were so many people around him, and then she just managed to touch his hem, and then he looked and he said, "Life has come out of me. Somebody has touched me." And then she said, "It is I, my Lord, and I'm healed." You get me? That is
Yes.
faith healing. That because Jesus was a healer, of course. And he also said in Matthew, one of the chapters in Matthew, go out and heal the world, you know.
Yes.
And he's pray. So when you see our pastors healing, you know, they remember they put their hand on the on somewhere here, and then they pray on the people and actually feel good. That's transference of divine energy.
Does it require faith in God? Because I'm thinking of atheists.
Yeah, I have a lot of atheists who come, but they believe in some source.
So you have to just, I feel the belief just helps you open up
Yeah,
to
but
the
you don't
energy.
have to, it doesn't matter. I mean, the air, the earth is in abundance anywhere around us, and they do believe in something. It's not that sometimes we have a misconception of the atheists. They don't believe, they do know there's a creator, they do know there is an existence of some great, great, great being who is putting everything together. They may not call it God.
Want you to scan my aura?
Yeah. So it's very easy, you see, Mariam. Now, if I have to scan your aura, yes, may I just ask you to maybe stand up? I'm not too sure it's showing the camera. So if you're sitting here, what the healer is very easy. You may sit down, that's
Oh,
okay.
okay. Then
So
see.
the healer can analyze the aura by just by feeling it. So it's very easy. You just learn the skill. It's a 2-day workshop and you just learn the skill. Very easy. So the healer just has to sensitize their hand. This is called sensitizing, just to be able to feel the aura. So we teach all this. It's all the protocol. We give you manuals and everything for it. So I just do this to my hand, which but before this, why don't I make you feel the energy
Okay.
so you know what I will be feeling? I think why don't we do this for this audience sake also? So maybe out there somebody can feel the energy also, and maybe they can, you know,
Yeah.
experiment it for themselves. Right. So audiences and Miriam, let's do this. Let's really press the middle of the palms and then do the fingers. Just this is just to make yourself a little sensitive so you can feel the energy. Right, your armpits should not be closed, slightly open. Sit up straight. It helps to smile because it makes you a little bit more sensitive and open-minded, of course. By the way, you don't have to believe everything we're sharing here. People need to validate information. They need to use discernment. A little bit of research will help to understand that this works. Pranic healing is spread in more than 150 countries now. You see, it's
Yeah.
big organization, lots of schools, lots of centers, lots of healers working around. Yes, a
That's
lot of
great.
trainers. Yeah, so it's growing. So let's do this. So you bring your hand at least 4 to 5 inches closer to yourself. The focus will be in between our hands, nowhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all about breathing, like I mentioned earlier. So you just inhale, you hold your breath, you exhale, focus on your hands, smile as you do this. Don't expect anything, just relax and do the breathing again. Inhale, focus on your hands. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Right now, gently allow your hands to go slightly separated. Just separate your hands slowly, just push them away. Gently, very slowly, try and push your hands away from each other. Now keep inhaling and exhaling. Now try and bring your hands slightly closer to each other. Try and join your hands. Do you find a resistance? Like there's some push there, which is not allowing you really to close your hands, and you feel some sort of a vibration, a tingling sensation, maybe some warmth,
Warmth.
like a
Hot.
magnet
Yeah.
also. Maybe some people who are sensitive enough, sometimes they feel there is like a magnet, like something is really strong holding you there. A warmth, a vibration. Sometimes other people feel a tingling sensation.
I'm feeling hot.
You're
Like
feeling hot, like there is
a
something
ray.
there.
Yeah. Like
So
a
when
ray.
you want to join your hands, do you find a resistance? Like there's some, you have to make a really a lot of effort just to join your hands. It's not like the normal way you would just go up.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. So this is what we call the prana in our body,
Mhm.
which we are trying to now feel. Now, some people can see this energy also. These are the people who we call clairvoyants. Now, sometimes they look at the person and they can actually see in the shoulder or the back or somewhere, wherever there is pain or discomfort, like a dark patch. And they'll tell you, here I find this aura is not balanced.
I've met
I can,
someone like
yeah,
that
they're
who scanned
clairvoyant.
my aura.
Yeah, and it happens. And this is a sensitivity which is usually developed as you keep healing. You see, when you're healing, there's a lot of divine help from God, from the angels who come to help you. And you get better and better and better at healing. Everything is about practice, right? So for me, like I've been practicing for the past almost 25 years. And the scanning was difficult. Like you could feel immediately. For me, it took a little bit of while because I was a bit skeptic in the first time when I learned pranic healing. I didn't know how this thing works until I had to try it on my child. And that's one of the reasons I came into pranic healing, who was going through asthma. Uh,
Asthma.
yeah, he had asthma. So I'd moved from Mombasa. I mean, from Nairobi when I got married. I had my baby in Mombasa. This is going way back in 1987. And when he was born, after just a year, he had a wheezing issue. Then we moved to Nakuru because of the lake, maybe the lake sand. I used to think it's that.
Hmm.
And he really went through a very bad patch with asthma. And so when somebody introduced me to pranic healing in the year 2005, and that's 2004 actually, when I learned my first workshop, my whole intention was I really want to help my child. As a mother, at a desperate mother who's seeing her child suffering, whizzing the whole night, it's not a good thing. Every other day, he would have a whizzing attack. He would have an asthma attack. Then we had to give him an inhaler, and that inhaler had a lot of steroids in it, which also resulted him having huge acne on his face, which was really not, he was almost 15 at that time, and it really made him low self image
Mm.
because he was conscious of his face, his looks, the way he went to school. Low self image hits you there when girls are not looking at you and making, how children can make fun of you.
Mm.
It was not an easy period for my child. And for that moment, I thought, I just want to do this to help him. And I joined the first level one class, which we actually call it the basic pranic healing class. And my whole intention was, when are you going to teach me how to connect? So the first thing they teach in the class, understanding the anatomy of the aura. Okay. So
You may come closer
yeah.
so that you're more
So
comfortable.
this is how we do it. So I
Oh,
learned,
okay.
now if I'm going to scan you, I learned I can scan you the same feel like you got. So I say I'm going to scan Miriam's aura. So there is a patch, there is, I'm going to just make sure that I do the aura. So here I can see, I have a countdown on your aura. I know the vibration of the aura which is here, but I have to scan all of you to understand what is depletion, what is congestion, is this a normal balanced aura or not. Okay.
Mm.
So if I go right now, I can sense that this knee has a depletion. This part of the knee, maybe there is some pain or maybe there is some discomfort there. And then your ankle also. This side of the ankle definitely feels depleted. So you have to tell me, when you walk, do you feel a little strain? Is it bit, maybe in the past you've had some strain or an
On
accident or
this side.
something. Okay. That side definitely feels a little depleted. All right. So then we scan this side, and your energy seems much balanced, Miriam. It's not like this shoulder definitely has a congestion. On my analysis, it feels like, heavy. All right, then I come here on the hip. Definitely this hip is, my analysis would call it depletion. In fact, this part of the aura, yes, from the hip down, is completely depleted. So that means enough pranic energy may not be flowing, and you may be having, in this especially cold season, you may be having pains which are unnecessary. Okay, sometimes this is analysis. Now on top of this, we in pranic healing, we deal with 11 chakras.
Mm.
Everybody else in the world, they talk about seven
Seven.
chakras, but they don't also tell you it's the only ones.
Mm.
The introduction is given to seven
Yes,
chakras,
yes, yes.
but they don't limit themselves and say this is it. There's nothing else. You
Yeah.
see, world, sometimes things come to you in a world where like technology is, revealed pole pole,
Yeah.
as we could call it. So once, but in pranic healing, we actually teach you about the anatomy of 11 chakras,
Mm.
and there are more. So every organ in your body has a chakra connected to it. Every organ.
Mhm.
So then we can scan. So for example, now like your hip area is connected to a chakra, which in other languages they will call it the root chakra.
Yeah.
In pranic healing, we call it the basic chakra.
Mhm.
It's actually connected to your muscular system, to your bones, to your tissues, to the blood. So any issues you may be having connected to these parts of the body, that chakra may not be balanced. That chakra may have accumulated a lot of contamination, dirty, diseased energy, as we would call it. And just by sweeping the energy out and revitalizing it with the breath, you try and balance the chakra. The minute that happens, the organs, it's like they open up, they breathe. I'm getting my food now.
I'm laughing because I did a Reiki healing the other day.
Okay.
And the analysis was that I have a blocked root chakra.
Okay, so there you
that's
go.
so
So two people telling
interesting.
you
The
this may
same
be.
thing.
Okay, so just coming to the root chakra is also connected to finances
Oh
from
my
from a
God.
psychological point of view. Okay.
Please say more.
Yeah. So you see, there is an energy concept of physical healing. There's an energy concept of emotional healing, psychological healing, financial healing, and spiritual healing. Chakras multitask. So chakras are basically meridians in the body. Okay, according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is the yoga, they'll tell you there's 72,000 meridians in our body. Who counted? I have no clue. But if you look at it, these are just meridians in the body where they form a whirlpool. That's a chakra.
Mhm.
And we have many chakras, and we have many mini and minor chakras also in the body.
Yes.
So one chakra is functioning in many tasks. It's a multitasking guy. So if you scan, okay, that's how the scanning is really important in pranic healing. That's why people get connected to our school, because we teach you. So if I'm scanning because I can do a distance scanning, you don't need to even be in the room with me, but I can just scan. So Miriam's basic chakra, if you don't mind.
I don't.
Yeah. So if I scan Miriam's basic chakra and I scan the energy level of a basic chakra, definitely the basic chakra is depleted to a certain degree. Then if I scan, there's an activation of the chakra. If you see in the tvs, in the websites, they show a chakra just like a round disc, but that's not how the chakra actually, that's just the round disc on the surface of the chakra. If you go and check the anatomy of the chakra is like a cone actually, fixed into your body, and it has layers of other programs it does.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the root of the chakra is right inside your central meridian. In the Yoga Sutra, they call it the Shushumna Nadi.
Yes.
They call it the Shushumna. And that's exactly where your root of the chakra is like plugged in. I would call it
Yeah.
like a plug, like a electricity plug we have. The electricity has to pass from there. So if I'm going to scan the activation of your chakra, this is what we teach in classes. And if I'm going to say Miriam's activation of her basic chakra, Miriam's basic chakra, basic. So I would say, looking at this, it's a normal chakra.
Normal for me.
It's a normal chakra. It's not malfunctioning. It's a normal chakra. It's
Okay.
not too bad, but it is depleted. That means energy is not flowing out. Now, if I scan energies of physical pain, in the basic chakra, which is connected to bones and tissues, I can feel there is some resistance. The energy is not flowing. The prana is blocked. Then if I check your financially, okay, financial health, in the basic chakra, financial health, it is there. There's a lot of financial health. How much you're tapping into is now the question mark. How do you tap into this? Because you have to change your mindset. You get?
100%.
Yeah, you have to really change your mindset about money. And this guy will just open up. Now coming back to pranic healing, let me just share the concept. So pranic healing is an energy school concept. It has chakras. The chakras have very many functions. Each chakra multitasks. Okay. If the chakras are blocked, your physical body will be blocked. Emotionally, mentally,
Financially.
financially,
Yeah.
all that energies get blocked.
Mm.
You have to change your mindset. If you just go for a run just now, and I tell you, okay, Miriam, let's go for a, we can go just across the road, maybe to Jeffries, and say, let's do a 45-minute run. When you come back, this chakra will be much healthier
Oh, really?
because it has released contamination, dirty energy from your bones, tissues, and all that. It will be healthy, but the program of psychological program is still there.
So it helps with the chakras, but I still have to look for another modality to help me with my mindset.
Your mindset has to be there. You can also program this by your thoughts. But also, if you find a healer like myself, and I'm going to just tell you, okay, Miriam, I can help you. Let's do a session. So I tap into your aura and I scan your aura. Like right now, pent up emotions, for example, inability to forgive others. We put that so much, and normally that goes and sits at the back. So I will talk about the amazing chakra, which we call the solar plexus chakra, because this is the one which gets affected for a lot of people. The solar plexus chakra is connected to your major organs, which are sitting here. Apart from that, it is the center of emotions. And that's why when you have an anxiety, that's why you start feeling uneasy here.
Forget ulcers.
Yeah. Get ulcers because the stomach is deprived of its clean, healthy prana. You get me?
Yes.
And what are you feeding? Thought forms, I'm angry, you're depressed, job, money, finances. People are so much worried about relationships. And people have also spiritual emptiness, because they don't know which path really to take, which they feel content and feel I'm home and want to really meditate. People say meditation, but you can't. I have a lot of people who come to me and say, I can't meditate. I close my eyes and my mind is wandering into 100 different directions. How do I keep still? And that's why you have to, the monkey brain, you need to control it. How do I control my monkey brain? It's a very easy concept. It's breathing. That's why in the yoga school, if you go, they teach you how to breathe. You go to any school, Art of Living and others, they first teach you how to breathe. And why do you think breathing is so important? It's because it helps relax your mind. It helps relax your inner feelings. Once you have feeling of controlling your breathing, you have clarity. And when you have clarity, you have inner peace. You have stillness. And in that stillness, you will make the right decisions. You cannot make right decisions when your mind is all over the place. And that's why in Psalm chapter 46, verse 10, it's written, be still and know that I am God. What do you think God is trying to tell us in that scripture? Be still and know that I am God. Yes? And you wonder, okay, what does that really mean? You cannot find God in the chaotic. You can be praying to God in anger. You can be praying God, cussing. Most of the time people start cussing God when things go wrong. When things are not going their way, maybe they lost a job, maybe a family member died or something happened. Some people went through a bankruptcy. And then they start cussing, God, why did you do this to me? God did nothing right. Most of the time we did it to ourselves. You have to understand, why am I going through this? What is it that I'm going through? So in pranic healing, we actually guide you to the breathing. We also have another workshop which is on a spiritual program which is called Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul. We also do online self healing courses. So people who are not interested in healing others, they can also learn to heal themselves.
So anybody can heal. You don't have to be born with the gift of healing.
Everybody has a gift, Miriam.
So you can train me to be a healer?
Absolutely.
Or to heal myself? Because
absolutely,
I would love to heal my finances.
absolutely,
My finances are off.
absolutely. But
Okay.
that's another thought form. You see, you repeat that, and that is the energy you're energizing your body with. So it's like this.
Wow.
Your body has a consciousness of its own. What you tell your body, it will listen. Example, you want to wake up tomorrow morning at 5. You have a flight to catch. Okay? And you're worried, flight to catch, I must wake up at 5, so make it in time, right? So at night, you repeatedly say, I must wake up at 5, I must wake up at 5, I must wake up at 5. And you put the alarm on, that's fine, but you just find yourself waking up 5 minutes before 5. 100%. Anybody can check. The audience can also do this experiment with themselves. Why? The mind is an amazing machine. It listens. The body listens. There's a time clock in us. It listens. It knows. But having said that, it also stores a lot of emotions. And where did these emotions come from? 99% these emotions are also being transferred to you from the DNA of your parents and their parents before them and their. Today, psychology says 7 generations, so many thought forms have been put in. How do you remove those patterns? Some of the patterns are not yours. Some of the patterns, I look like this, I do this because my mom did this, my father did this, and I don't like it. But they're not bad people. It's just that you've picked up that habitual pattern. You can, with pranic healing, you erase that old pattern from your chakras and auras and replace it. And that's how we work with cancer patients.
I was going to ask you about cancer.
Yes, when cancer patients come. So I had my sister, 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago, my sister was diagnosed with second stage breast cancer. And I, of course, we've healed a lot of, treated a lot of people, but they have to go to the doctor. They have to go through the chemotherapy. And the doctors today, the science is way ahead. They have amazing technology to help people, but it also comes with a price of side effects. So when my sister was diagnosed with cancer, it was second stage. They had to impute her left breast. And my thoughts were, why have I learned this technology when I can't help? Like you started your conversation saying today the hospitals are so packed, they're overwhelmed. I don't want to stand, and I will ask the audience, do not stand in hospital walls feeling helpless. I don't want to be helpless when I have another tool I can help. You can, many people on the corridors are standing helpless. They don't know how to help their family. They can pray, but do you know, if you know pranic healing, you can actually stand up and say, I'll do something about this. I can at least alleviate the pain. I can reduce the suffering of my family. So I talked to my family, pranic healing family, as I would call them. And one of them sent me a protocol of cancer, which is also in our manuals. We have a lot of books and all that. And they also told me something which was very interesting because I was very new in pranic healing at that period. They said, do you know you can heal the cocktail of the drug which is going to be put in, the cocktail which we call chemo, to remove the side effects before it's put in the patient? And I was very excited about it. So I learned how to do it. And we teach also in our classes how to do that. So you remove the side effects of the chemotherapy before it was put in my system. And to my amazement, my sister hardly, and she vouches for it, she hardly went through side effects like other patients do. She did not have the throwing up, did not have nausea as much as others. She hardly had hair loss. The hair loss, she had a bit of hair loss which came back very fast. Her eyebrows did not go off. Her lashes did not lose any hair, no darkening of the skin. And that's where I thought, wow, this works. And then I used to apply pranic healing on her 3 times a week, almost for 6 months.
Wow.
So, what was I doing? The cells have a memory. Yes, the organs have a memory. The part which was affected has a memory of cells that this is cancerous. So, with pranic healing, we do clean the energy with an intention of removing old programs of cancer. Any cells in this part of the body connected to this chakra, connected to this aura, is being disintegrated. There's a certain color we use, okay, because this healing happens with the effectiveness of color pranas, which we also guide you, and we remove the side effects of from the organ. So when the new cells come in, according to science, after every 21 days there's a new cell which gets imputed into your body or generates, and an old cell now dies. But if that part of the body is not clean, it's like a cup of coffee, it's dirty. Will you wash the cup of the coffee before you put in fresh coffee, or will
Yes.
you reuse it?
If you reuse it, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, it doesn't even taste the same.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, there's something about it. So you'll wash your cup, clean it up, and then you pour a fresh cup of coffee. Like that, the cells, we clean them up. So when a new cell comes in,
Yeah.
it comes with a new program you have put in. The new program is you're healthy, you're well, you're regenerated, you're revitalized. So the new cell now comes in with that new program. So the people who actually work with cancer, who actually follow through with pranic healing, because you need patience. It's not like in 2 days or one healing you're going to be curable. I wish it was like this, dear friends. It's not. Pranic healing takes time. It's a process. Just like medication, you have to take 3 times a day. Like this, you have to do pranic healing 3 times a week, as long as necessary. Depends on the ailment you're going through. So with my sister, 6 months, 6 months of healing. Today she's cancer free.
Wow.
It's been so many years, thank God
Yeah,
for
thank
that. But
God.
she did go through her medication. She did have her medication for 5 years. She did go with her checkups. All that must be done. People should not think, oh, I know pranic healing now, or Reiki or other things, and I'm, going to
Mm.
ignore the
It's
doctors.
complementary.
That is not how it is. It is complementary, I must emphasize. And it's not a religion. People need to wake up and understand it's not a religion. You have an aura no matter which religion you belong to.
True.
You have chakras no matter which religion you belong to. It's not like only some people are born with auras and chakras. It's
Yeah.
everyone has it.
I mean, you're quoting the Bible. What's your story? What's
Okay,
your
I'm
story?
quoting the Bible because I know the Bible. I've understood it to a larger degree. The teacher who started Pranic Healing is a Catholic. Okay, his name is Grandmaster Choa. He was a Chinese descent born in Philippines from a Catholic family. So most of the books which is written, he's quoted the Bible inside to make us understand. The Bible talks about this. Hello, read it, understand it, and that's where I really appreciate it. I come from a Muslim background, but if I look at my Quran, also has a lot of healing powers. The Bhagavad Gita, which is part of the Hindu tradition, there has a lot of healing powers because words have power.
Mm.
When I was a little child, I used to get a priest in the house who used to come, our Islamic pastor. And every time somebody was ill in the house, he would take water and recite some Quran verses and then blow and put his hand on it. Today, I know what was happening. The words have power. The energy of the Quran verses was because water absorbs energy,
It does.
you know
And it's been proven.
proven, by the Hashimoto. If you look at his research, he's done it, that water absorbs energy. So the Quran verses of healing power is put in. And even if you do the Lord's prayer just on water and drink that water, it's already healing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
just the Lord, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done as above so below. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Also, this is connected to the chakras, the
Oh,
Lord's prayer itself. If you say, our Father art in heaven, crown chakra, you are allowing the divine energy to come in. Yes. And then you go, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So you say, don't let my lower nature get control over me. Whatever my God wishes, let it be. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom done, thy will be done. You get me?
yes.
So lead us not to into temptations, deliver us from evil. The temptations of today are what? Greed, anger,
Anger,
hatred,
lust.
people want to take, they become wicked because they're so envious. Those are the things you're praying for. And these are connected to your chakras. We
That's
have a
true.
beautiful Lord's Prayer meditation and a workshop also. And that's where I came to really understand this. That God has powerful, and people almost always say, oh, the word om, like we do the meditation, which is the twin hearts meditation, is a very powerful technique also taught in Pranic Healing, where the words we use is of Saint Francis of Assisi in the meditation.
Nice.
So many people can't say, okay, I can't meditate. So we say, okay, come in. Every Wednesdays, by the way, we have an online free session to open to the public where you have an opportunity to sit and 20 minutes bless yourself, bless other people who need your help. And we usually do this meditation using the prayer of twin hearts meditation. Twin hearts. In there, our teacher is very smart. So he said, okay, let's put words which have positive energy. The words which has positive energy, he used the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi. Okay.
Yes.
Lord, make me an instrument of healing. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Yes.
Yes.
Where there is sadness, let me sow love.
Wow.
So we sit in this position, visualize the entire earth in front of us. We bring all of our family members, visualize them in front of us. Today, look at what is happening to the world with wars going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to do something. I can't reach. Supposingly now, if I say the Middle East, there's problems happening, or the other parts of the world, there's problems happening. How do I reach there? I may not have the means, I may not have the finances to donate, or I don't even know if my donation would reach the right
True.
channels. What can I do? I'm going through maybe crisis. My family has a certain problem. How do I pray for them continuously? What do I do? So this is where the meditation on twin hearts plays a major role. So we sit in this position, we visualize the earth. You can put whatever goals you want in front of you, and then you use this prayer. It's a guided meditation, so your mind doesn't get drifted.
Yeah.
You get me? Your mind doesn't go here and there. So you're focused on this. It's a 21 minutes meditation, which is one of the most amazing meditation which has given me peace. I have an opportunity to connect to the entire earth. I have an opportunity to bless everyone, every person, every being without choosing I can heal
Unconditionally.
unconditionally. Bless the people who hurt me. Bless the people. Ask for forgiveness from the people who I have hurt. This gives you also inner reflection. It gives you realization.
Mm.
Yeah. And then in between that, when you want to say, okay, I need to feel stillness. Yeah, I want to focus on the breath. The teacher has also said you may chant the mantra Amen, or you may chant the mantra Om.
Om.
And then people associated this with religion. Om is nothing to do with any religion, actually. If you look at it, it's a word. In the beginning was a word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. This is from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look at this and you say, oh, yeah, but what word were they talking about? You see, if I want to describe God is present, how would I say God is omni?
Present.
Doesn't the word start with Om?
That's funny.
If I want to say God is everywhere,
Yeah.
what would I say? How would I describe God? God is everywhere. God is omniscient.
Vision.
Doesn't it start with Om?
Yeah. It's
If I want to say God is all providing me, how would I say God is all provident? Om, omniscient,
omnipotent,
omnipotent.
I feel like it's the same thing you were talking about. People getting caught up. You already have something you need to deal with: peace, anger, lust, finances, relationships. Then instead of focusing on that, you focus on which religion is better, what religion. Like,
Is
I feel like
this,
it's
yeah, that
just
is that is what
prioritization.
that is what describes us as humans to be in the issue. Because if you really look at it today, uh religion is good for us because it keeps us centered, it gives us a focus.
Yeah.
It gives us somewhere to go and pray.
Mm.
It gives us somewhere I know I can find my peace. It's
Yeah.
a good way of connecting. But when we become fanatic, and
Yeah.
that is where people get into problems. So I love my religion. And actually, after Pranic Healing, I came to understand my religion better, because I used to wonder, why do Islamic prayers happen? We do this and then we bow down, and actually realize the amount of divine energy which goes through your body. And because I can scan chakras now, I really realized, oh my God, my chakras actually change when I'm praying. And
Really.
I connect to God better because now I understand what's happening to my body. The connectivity really happened more thoroughly. That's why people go and bow down like this. The minute you do, the crown chakra has a lot of divine energy coming through. So these are little things which I really understood why we do what we do. So it made me appreciate my religion more, because now I understand it. It made me understand that there are certain verses in the Quran or in the Bible or in the Bhagavad Gita, they have a lot of power.
Mhm.
The words have power, positive power, energy. So when you recite them, no wonder you feel a vibration.
It's true.
No wonder when you're reading the Bible, sometimes you read certain passages and you want to cry. And you wonder, why am I crying? There's so much healing taking place because the energy, their words have power. And I recite Lord's Prayer almost every night before I sleep.
And to be clear, you're Muslim.
I am a Muslim. Yes,
Who
because I
recite.
know words have power. Of
Yeah.
course, I do my own religion prayers also.
Yeah.
But I also know that I have to clean my chakras before I sleep. I have to ask for forgiveness. I don't know how many people I may have hurt during that day. And this came from the Pranic Healing School, Lord's Prayer, making me understand that it's connected to the chakra. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's forgiveness.
It's so interesting. And then the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali are
But Patanjali
Hindu.
Yoga Sutra,
It's just
they are
this.
not Hindu, by the way. Those are not Hindu. They
They
came
were
72,000 years ago or someplace, something like that. Even before the Hindu, something like that, what I've been reading, even before Hindu religion existed. The
oh yeah.
Patanjali Yoga Sutras existed
Mm.
even then.
I'm just trying to show people there is that's not a big deal. Like, it doesn't matter. The truth is the truth.
The truth, oh yeah, and the truth shall set you free.
Yeah.
Jesus himself said that. And the truth shall set you free.
That's true.
You get me? So if you know the truth and you say universally, because even people say my God is better than your God, I want to ask them, every day you have a sunshine, does God choose who is the sunshine should come to or not? God is all forgiving, God is all merciful,
Yeah.
God is almighty. So
Exactly.
God is God, but he's also given us a way of life. I'll give you a small example. A friend of mine was going through chewing tobacco. The tobacco they
Yes.
chew, they put, I think you've seen people do that.
Mhm.
And every day we used to have a conversation with this person and tell him, don't eat tobacco, it's not very good for you, it can harm your body. Is that God or is this you choosing? That's a free will you have, no? You decide to have tobacco. So like the person used to put a lot of tobacco in their mouth and keep chewing it. One of the days he has a really bad blister. Unfortunately, the blister was cancerous. So they had to go to for an operation, and the whole cheek is cut, is been removed.
Oh no.
And now the person was so angry with God. God has nothing to do with this. You decided to do conflict pain in it. God sent you people to say, stop doing this, stop doing this. We are harming our own selves. We don't realize this. Okay, so pranic healing treatment has been done on him and all, but you cannot change that structure. He's feeling better, like he's cancer free right now. But it's taken almost 10 years.
Wow.
But he cannot recover that part of him. And forcefully, now he cannot chew the tobacco. Even he had an addiction to tobacco. He cannot do it because sometimes God, being God, has to give you a stick. They say, no, the karma stick comes to give you, so you do something which was unwholesome for you and you're not listening. So sometimes a hard stick comes. So many things we do to ourselves. You have an opportunity to repent, you have an opportunity to ask for forgiveness. You decide not to do it. You can mend, people can mend their marriages, people can mend relationships. They choose not to do it. They see something is happening, instead of going and addressing the issue, you see some people then burying themselves into alcohol, drug abuse.
How can pranic healing help
Yeah, we have something called
relationships?
psychotherapy, which is what we do with relationship healing. So we have couples who come to us, we talk to them, we counsel them, then we clean their chakras of anger, hatred towards each other, resentment. Then we teach them actually the Lord's Prayer, forgiving each other, looking at each other in the eye, appreciating, writing down good qualities about how they like, what made them marry each other in the first place. Everybody has good qualities, everyone has that. So we ask them to do that. And then we've seen remarkable results in relationships healings. Financially, also, by cleaning the basic chakra, the navel. You see, all these things need to be cleansed out, remove old thought forms that I'm not wealthy, I am not successful. And some of these come from the parents, because maybe when they were conceiving you, they were having some difficulties financially themselves. And they didn't know what to do. That whole program went into the fetus. The child picks up energy, and that's what has been some programs are there. So every time you look at money, some people have a fear of looking at money. Some people feel scared of being successful. And every day you wake up in the morning and you look at your wallet and you say, oh, mimi niko broke maje. You start with such a conversation. What are you sending to the conscious brain? What are you sending to the universe? What is your aura information picking up? The radiation on the aura is picking, oh, we are broke, we are broke. Oh, okay. That's the information is passing there.
Wow.
The app wakes up, ting, ting, and sends all the information to the other chakras and says, today is a broke day.
Does it work? I feel like negative information is picked up by the aura quicker than if I woke up and looked at my path and said, oh, I am very wealthy. I feel like, does it work the same?
Of course it works, because that is the vibration you're putting. I'm wealthy, I'm successful. Yeah. Today it's going to be a brilliant day. Gratitude is the key, actually, Mariam. If you really look at it, the more gratitude you have, the more the universe gives you. If I'm grateful for the food, that's why we pray on the food, remember? We always, Lord, thank you for blessing us this food. Thank you for giving us this food. More comes. People are
That's
not
true.
grateful. I've seen people being given food and they throw it in the dustbin because they didn't like the taste. And there are thousands of people who are hungry out there. You get me? So
Yes.
if you look at money, what is your response? I have taught this to my house help, because I also taught them pranic healing. And I was like that myself, just giving you a small on the finances.
Yes.
So the minute I was present, those days we were presented by cash money. Nowadays M-Pesa, nowadays check money or transfers. Anyway, the minute I used to get money long time ago before, the first thought is, oh my God, I have bills to pay, and this money is not enough for this month even to do that. You know what I mean? The worry energy is first. You're not happy you're receiving a salary. You're not grateful that thousands of people are without a job. Even this is little, you have something. I used to be like that until I came to pranic healing, and I realized my thought forms have to be correct. My basic chakra shrinks the minute I have a negative thought form about money. This is something we validate with scanning. I thought, okay. So I started changing. So when I give my house help the salaries, even if it's through M-Pesa, so I tell them, sit there, look at the money, first say Asante Sana. Not to me, because you've earned it. It's your money. We see money is energy. So thank you, God, for giving me this. Thousands of people around the world don't have this. I am grateful. So this is a tip I'm sharing. Thank you, God, for giving this wealth to me. Thank you for the blessings of this wealth. Where this comes, more will come. Yes, where this comes from, more will be given. Thank you for blessing. Uweke baraka kwa hiyo pesa. Baraka nyingi sana. Asante, asante, asante. The minute you do that, now you go to the kiosk. You're going to buy milk. You're going to buy bread. Do you know that money is already blessed, which you're passing on?
So
So you're passing on
interesting.
the barakas, and more will come. Suddenly, they're doing more overtime. A gift is given to them. I am a recipient of that, and tithing is very important. This is one thing people forget.
Mhm.
If you're receiving and you're not giving, hello, where's your bank? That's why you have to tithe.
Mm.
That's why in the Christian religion, Islam religion,
Even
every
Hindu,
religion,
even us.
10% you must donate.
Mm.
You must tithe. If you're not tithing, you don't give back to God. Where's your bank? Where's your karma bank then?
Mm.
So that's one thing you do.
You know, I've just realized as you were talking, there's money in my house, and I have put it away. And I've just remembered when I did put it away, I was putting it away with the attitude of scarcity. It wasn't because, yeah, I just picked that up
Yes.
as you were
So you
speaking.
need to bless. You
I
must
need to
have a
change
positive. And we
it.
have a financial healing workshop. Sometimes you offer as a nurturing session, open to anybody who wants to do it. It's a 5 hour workshop where we go through this. We teach you the twin hearts meditation. We teach you proper breathing. We teach you to be still. Remember, be
Mm.
still and know that I'm God.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we teach you if your mind is still and you're focused and you're quiet, when you open your eyes, even when you want to talk to your boss, you want to talk to your family, your children, or your wife or husband, your parents, for example, or your friends, you realize you're talking better. Why? You say the right things. Why? Because your mind was still. You have now calmed down, and now you're relating that issue with a different approach altogether.
Yeah.
And invoking for God's blessings every day in the morning is also energy. You see? And
Mm.
money is energy. Just coming back to the money, because I know Kenyans, we are always running after money. But money earned in the right way will stay with you. Money earned through other means like stealing, cheating, and all those things. I'm sorry, that money does not have baraka. That money comes back to you with interesting karma like sicknesses, like you're stolen from all the time. You never feel good. You're never happy. Because that money was not earned the right way. So earn the money right way. Even atat kama ni kidogo ni yako.
Mm.
You get me?
Mm.
Like my mother used to say, never steal, never take anything like that. Because even if you eat one chapati less is okay. Then take anything which is not your money, should not be stolen. And my teacher, Master Chokoksui, has an interesting concept. He says, treat your money like a woman. You know, tell her nice things, she'll stay with you. The minute you're bitchy to your woman, sorry to use that word, the woman will go away. And that's how it is. If you start not appreciating the woman and telling her, not appreciating her, unam scold sa zote, unam tease sa zote, your mama atapata mwingine aende, si ndio? But if you're
Yeah.
nice to your mama and you're telling the mama, you're beautiful, I respect you and I love you and I really appreciate you, that will stay with you. Money is the same way, but
Yeah.
don't be a slave to money also.
What does that
Finances are
mean?
good, success is good, but it should not be your only priority in life, because when you die, what are you going with? Everything is going to be left back. As a soul, you're leaving. So live with good deeds. And the good deeds come through character building. So in pranic healing, the character building emphasis are really, really put in. They're divided into 5 virtues, and then we talk the program out, we give a roadmap, and this and then we tell people, okay, let's follow this. And trust me, the people who follow this, their life is so much better.
Mm.
It's so much better. It's not what it used to be.
Mm.
It's no longer feeling of I
A
can't do this.
struggle.
It's not a struggle. Yeah, I have a roadmap, let me say that.
Mm.
Now I would say, leaving the audience with a nice, that I have a roadmap. I'm not feeling helpless in any situation. I have solution what to do. You see, if today, like today, my son was traveling, as a normal mother would worry, oh, the road, this, that, traffic,
Yes.
he's going to Nakuru. What's my first instinct? I
Mm.
just sat down, have faith in God. I blessed the trip and said, God, thank you for taking my son safely. Thank you for your divine protection for him. I know he's in your hands. You look after him, and I know all is well. You see, I've
Mm.
done a prayer for him.
Mm.
And these are things I learned in pranic healing, that you can bless a situation,
Mm.
because what can I do about it?
Nothing other
Exactly, but
than.
I can pray for it.
Mm.
But some people worry about it. They worry so much. And I used to be like that. I'm still learning to be better and better every day,
Mm.
but at least I have the tools. That's all I say with. And why is pranic healing different than most of the? Because we have proper manuals, we have books, we have courses running, we have retreats which come up, we have so much of online nurturing sessions which continue to help us evolve.
Mm.
And so many other books which we read, especially and to just to understand the concept of life on its own.
Yeah.
So it's made me a better person, I would say.
Mm.
My son has been cured from asthma. That was a big relief. My sister is been
Completely
treated
healed.
completely. Yes, that was complete. But they also went through medicines. It's not that. You get
Mm.
me? And
Yes, I
and
did.
that's such a relief. Mothers will relate to this. If a child can sleep and you see your child well, that's the best prize you can give a mom. And imagine if you have the tools and you can help. I know mothers who call us in the middle of the night, their children are burning with fever and they don't know what to do. I was just last week in a flight and there was a child who was crying. And on inquiring what was happening, the child had a toothache. It's the middle of the plane, it's an 8-hour flight, you know?
Hmm.
So, what do? This is where pranic healing comes in.
What did you do?
Oh, just healing. The tooth was paining. Just sit and just make an intention. It's a healing process, and you just heal. No medicine. I don't need to touch the child. After 20 minutes of just doing that, the child was actually quiet.
Wow.
You know,
And will that healing last the child,
not
or does it?
necessarily. It depends. Now,
Oh,
if the tooth had to be extracted, the at least the pain has subsided.
I
You've
see.
given them some relief until they land and they can see a doctor.
Mm.
You get me?
Yes.
The doctor has to be seen, the dentist. But at least at that time, you've given relief. It's like a first aid.
That's
you
true.
know
Yeah.
you're in a kitchen, you burnt your hand, you don't have anything to apply on it at immediately. That's where pranic healing comes. We've done this multiple times. That's where you just clean. At least you have subsided the pain, you
Yes.
have removed
Yeah.
that discomfort.
The last thing before we conclude on the ailments is it's May, it's Mental Wellness Month.
Yes.
Could you kindly speak to depression and mental wellness?
Yes, mental wellness. We just had a session in Sarit Center last week and it went successful. Mental is something which already the chakras have been impregnated, because this is depression. Maybe you picked up from your parents.
Mm.
Maybe something went down. It comes from the feeling low esteem. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I am not worthy enough. Where did that come from? It's embedded into the system, in the chakra. The mind keeps thinking like that. So in pranic healing, that's why we say do some breathing. It will help you. Okay,
Mm.
find help. Don't sit alone. You're not alone. There are hundreds of people who can help.
Mm.
Sometimes you're so depressed, you feel nobody's here to listen to me, nobody will understand me. Just pick up the phone and talk. I had 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine, he's my gym instructor, and he was sharing his best friend committed suicide because he just didn't want to share. He was going through financial problems because he was drinking and having a lot of hallucinogenic drugs, and he had accumulated a lot of loans because of this, and he just decided to end his life.
Mm.
And I just want to tell you that ending your life does not end your problems,
True.
because you don't realize, as the soul does not die.
Yeah.
It's your physical body that died. The soul lives through hell. That is what in the Christian art is called purging. It lives in that, the next body which we call the aura. It lives there, with agony and pain until it learns its lessons. It's not something which is going to be an easy exit. So as a mental patient, and I need help, first of all is talk, seek help, do some breathing, take the Bible or Quran, go to your religion. It'll help you, give you some divine energy. You get me?
Yes.
And you can seek help. That's all I'm going to say. And with pranic healing, we've had a lot of people in depression who have been assisted. So
Mm.
I will also advise family members to look out for this.
Mm.
Sometimes we ignore our family so much. We're all the time on the phones. We don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
And we don't realize our own family member may be going through depression. So look for the signs of depression. People suddenly don't want to eat. People who suddenly don't want to take care of themselves anymore. People who just want to lock themselves in, stop smiling. They're suddenly giving up on gym, suddenly giving up on, maybe sports they used to like. That's already a sign. It's a red flag.
Mm.
So family has to also be supportive.
Yeah.
Most of the people who you see going through suicidal tendencies or do commit suicide and all that, they feel they are not worthy. you know I have a friend, and she was sharing her information about, in Japan is the highest rate of suicide, apparently. This is what I've heard. So there was a magazine she was reading, and she showed me an article which was really touched my heart. So this guy went into a medical store. He's sharing his story on a testimonial why he did not kill himself. And he said he went into the drugstore. I don't know what medication he took, and he had a beer bottle or something, and he had already put the medicine in. And his idea was go to the forest, sit there, drink this. That's the end of me. According to him, when he was coming out of the drugstore, when the door was opening, there was an old lady who was trying to open the door. She was not succeeding, so this guy just helped her open the door. And she looked at him with the nicest and the kindest eyes. And she looked at him and said, I hope you're having a good day.
Oh.
And she gave him a smile. And she held his hand, saying, thank you for opening the door. And she went in. She probably doesn't even know anything about anything. Maybe that was an angel. Me, I like to call the earth angels come.
Yes.
And this person dropped the bottle there and then did not commit suicide. Now he's the one who's running societies to help people who are going through depression and all that. And why did he change his mind? He said, I just felt somebody cared. Somebody smiled at me. It's a stranger, yes, but somebody smiled at me. Somebody just said, I care about you and thank you. That changed his mind. I mean, that was such a small gesture, but many people are going through what they're going through. It's just they need love.
Yeah.
And that's why we encourage the meditation twin hearts a lot, because it opens the heart center. It actually opens the heart chakra and brings in love a lot. We've seen people change. We have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of this meditation. And that's the meditation we usually offer to people, clients who are going through mental issues, who need help.
And also people who go through substance abuse.
Yes,
You mentioned
substance
it a bit,
abuse.
but I feel like most of them have a closed heart chakra
Yes,
because
yeah.
they feel like no one cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody loves me. I'm alone. And that's why they do what they do. But all they need is a bit of caring, a bit of love.
And
See,
you've helped these people as
yes,
well.
we
of
do.
course.
We have a lot of people who come.
Do you
A
go to
lot of people.
rehabs?
We don't go to rehabs because I don't know how much openness they have. You get me? So people have to be open to come to us.
I see.
Or even if we come to them, some people have a skeptical mind thinking this is, again, it's my religion or something, but it's not a religion, it's a way of life. And what bad is it when you help somebody? If we just balance the chakras, you clean the energy of the person, the person feels good. The next day they wake up and they feel fantastic. What's wrong in that?
I want to ask you something I feel might help most of the listeners. The disease. I wanted you to talk a bit about disease, the way it manifests. Like the other day, I was hearing someone, a friend of mine passed away because he had I think it was pancreatic cancer, or his liver had water. Another one had, you mentioned the shoulder, but you also mentioned cancer. But what about and you also mentioned COVID. Can you say a bit about disease and
Yeah,
how
the
it
disease
comes
comes
out?
how? Look around us. It's first of all livelihood. How do we live? What do we eat? And how does the emotions also be? You get me? Everything attaches itself from there. How does a disease enter your body? First of all, it comes into your aura. Yes, and then from your aura it goes into the chakras. From the chakras it goes into your organs. Now, if you're eating wrong foods, it will affect you. If you're smoking every day, likely many people then would get cancer. You get me? If people are eating fatty foods all the time, I'm not going to mention the big stores who are selling pizzas and burgers and all those things. Look at Kenya for the past 10 years. What are we living on? What are we feeding our children? That's one of the other reasons. Now I understand people, after COVID, people got a bit more aware. People wanted to run. I was in Singapore last week and I was amazed to see that everybody there exercises. The whole community exercises. In the morning, there are hundreds of people running on the road, jogging, doing yoga, physical exercises. Kenyans now have started also because after COVID, it hit you. Okay, if you're not healthy, what happens? But even if you go to other stores where they sell all our interesting condensed food, that is also full. That's one of the reasons people get it. Yes. So all the food is an important thing. Number one is food. The other thing is emotions. Yeah. How are you treating your body? If you keep criticizing every time your body, you're not taking care of your body, you're not waking up and doing physical exercises, you're not going to do a bit of breath work, and then you're going to eat all the wrong foods, it will affect your health. And that's where diseased energy. What is diseased? Disease, lack of ease.
Mm.
The word disease means lack of ease.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yes.
So there's a concept with Louise Hay. She normally says, if you don't deal with your grief, if Louise Hay, people can read about Louise Hay. If you do not deal with grief, where does the grief go and sit? Where is the element of grief go and sit? It goes and
The
sits in your
heart.
lungs.
In your lung or in
Yeah.
your heart
Because,
chakra.
yeah, because in the lungs, because you're not able to express, you just keep everything there. What happens? Most of the people start having tuberculosis, they have asthma attacks, they have lung issues continuously. That's where, because grief is normally stored there, anger is stored in the liver. That's why malfunctioning of anger, you're so angry all the time, the liver cannot take all that anymore. It just piles up that energy, and then soon you see people have diabetes, they have issues with the livers. You get fear is stored in the kidneys.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So all these things do make a difference. So our attitude to life has to change. First of all, first thing, I think we should change our food diet. Is something which, if we keep eating a lot of fried food, what happens today? All the great people who are teaching about food and holistic healing, they will tell you the same thing: eat greens. How come our grandparents never had cancer and all those things? I mean, in the older days.
But the old people have a lot of arthritis.
Yeah.
What could that be?
The arthritis also is connected to a lot of instability, feeling burdened.
Oh,
Shoulder pains is feeling burdened, and here is insecurities. Maybe they go through, okay, now I'm going to lose my youth, or my children are going to leave me and go to, other parts of the world. They're getting married and leaving home. My husband is probably leaving now, having another affair or something of that sort. Those insecurities, according to Louise Hay, gets jammed in your knees,
and so on and so forth.
and so on and so forth, and even back issues, feeling burdened. I am burdened, I need security. People don't realize that emotions affect our bodies.
And
And all this,
blood pressure.
blood pressure, same thing. Blood pressure is connected to anger. There are two types of people who have blood pressure: one person who is always super super angry, shouting all the time, will definitely have high blood pressure issues. Another person is a conservative person who doesn't want to talk. No matter what you tell them, they just keep quiet. They just have this pent up emotions, and then suddenly this person is found with hypertension.
Wow.
And you wonder why. Because now they just put everything. They can't talk, they cannot open and share their viewpoints with others because there's fear. So the kidneys start malfunctioning,
Oh my God.
and then a lot of issues happen. So there are two type of people. That's why it's important for us to take care of our health, not just physically. Also holistic health will help emotions. So if people don't want to do anything like this, at least take care of your health. How? Go for a jog, do some walking, do at least learn to do proper rhythmatic breathing, do some sort of meditation, eat healthy. Half your problem is solved.
Mhm.
Have good relationships.
Mm.
Forgive, man. Why do you want to, tie yourself with eons and eons of, of ages until you want to die on your deathbed? Then you remember all the people you want to forgive, and it's a painful way to go.
Mhm.
So try and do those. That is healthy living.
That's
And pranic healing will be a complementary to it, because
Mhm.
it'll clean your chakras, will remove the old patterns, disintegrate thought forms of anger, resentment in your body, and you feel good. That's why holistic healing plays a part.
Yeah.
Any holistic healing will help you.
So I guess you've taught us a lot. It's a lot to digest. Where can people find you? And you've talked a lot about your school. So maybe
Okay, yeah. So
share.
pranic healing East Africa, our base is in Nairobi, is at TRV Center, Third Parklands.
Mm.
That's where the office is. We have 3 centers in Mombasa. They are co-resisting in Ganjoni. There is one in the area in Nyali. There is one in I couldn't remember the place. Sorry, Ganjoni. There is one in, yeah. Anyway, there are 3 centers in Mombasa. We have centers in Arusha. We have centers in Dar es Salaam, Zambia,
Wow.
and 150 countries worldwide. So if you just Google pranic healing, you'll get so many information. There are hundreds of people who practice this modality. And remember, we can give physical healing. We can give healings on Zoom. Distant healings work. So sometimes people are too sick, they can't come out of bed, or maybe they're in hospital. So you can get in touch with any of the healers so they can do distant healing. And the best way, I think, is learn yourself.
Mm.
We offer workshops every 2 weeks. We have a workshop where we are offering and teaching people how to learn. And in between, we have these little discourses like nurturing sessions, healing, like I talked to you about the twin hearts meditation.
Yes.
Every Wednesday, we run a free twin hearts meditation. I will share the link with you. You can always
Yes.
put it on the thing. And we also do some mini shops, just to give you the empowerment, like financial healing, for example, relationship healing, emotional healing, and we also have a self healing 1 day course which we offer online. So
Mm.
people who just want to heal themselves, they're not interested in healing other people.
Mm.
We also offer that.
And also even prenatal. You mentioned it in
Yeah.
passing for the pregnant
Pregnant
women.
women, yes, because they need to have a good attitude towards that. The spiritual classes come in that. It's called achieving oneness with the higher soul. You do not pass that pattern to your child.
Yeah. It's
Even if, I remember our grandparents used to say, when you're going to be pregnant, I'm sure many people will relate to it. Look at nice pictures, you know.
oh
Yes, read biography of great people and all that, because that's the information you're passing to your child, because it's picking information from you. And imagine if mothers are watching violent movies, they're always angry, they're having fighting zones with everyone, they're drinking all the wrong drinks and eating all the wrong foods. What are you feeding your child?
wow.
The child comes up with those kind of
I
energies.
honestly think there needs to be a whole session dedicated to pregnancy because
Yes.
I feel like we've lost so much information and knowledge around the mother and taking care of a pregnant woman. Because right now it's just another day.
It's
It's just
just another
another
day, and
day.
the women go through so much, the
So
fathers go
much.
through much. So because remember, imagine a father and a mother discussing the parent, the consciousness of the fetus is there, it's listening to everything, and the parents are now discussing their problems. All the information is going to that child. I had a patient, not myself, but another friend of mine who had a patient where the guy was so insecure. This is a true story. He was always so insecure about money. It's like money was really almost, he had a heart attack. And they were asking him, you're so rich. He had so much enough money, like 7 generations could eat. But he
Ah,
was worried about money. Pesa ni sayote, shida sayote. He was so worried. He had so many investments. It was like, it was eating his head. And on interview with one of the pranic healers, he said, I don't know why I'm like this. I really need to change this pattern. I do not like it. He was asked, why your parents like this? He said, yes, always worried about money. But they're well off. Why are they worried about the money? One of the parent was alive and he was brought in that interview. So they asked him, what were you happening? So the parent said, first, this was my third child.
mm,
When we were conceiving him, we already had 2 children. We already had a lot of burden on us, like school fees and stuff like that. My business was almost going to go down at that time. So every night he used to come and discuss with his wife, the business we may go into bankruptcy, we may not have money, we do not
mm,
this. After a few years, things got better, but that program still went into the child.
mm.
You get me?
Yes.
And that's why he's brought up thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Mm,
Programs get we have so many testimonials like that. So he needed a healing was done. He was given an he used to be asked to do certain things. It's not just the healer working, the patient also have to do certain things,
mm.
like look at the positive attitude. That was my past, it's not my current situation. The past does not define me now. So a lot of work was done for almost 1 or 2 years until this pattern from him was actually helped him release this. I don't know the person, but a friend of mine said the person is in so much good state now. You know.
I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much for
much.
having us. I hope we've given so much. But it's one thing I'd just like to leave is that pranic healing is not just pranic, it's a way of life. Just adopt it. Put it in everything you do, and you're fine. You're good to go.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me online.
Yeah, so we will I'll come for your one of your workshops so that I can also experience it
Yes.
and give feedback about it.
Sure.
But until then, if you have any questions, please put in the comment section or reach out to her or to us. Until then, have a good time and goodbye.